where you came from. So you said that you want to know who you truly were and kind of get more in touch with your gifts and like that spiritual side of you. So how do you, I guess, first of all, how do you feel now, if you compare with where you're at, like, about 11 months ago?
Yeah, I think compared to where I was 11, 10 months, I've got a lot more clarity in terms of me as a person and recognizing kind of what supports my energy and helps it to flow. So what you've given me insight to is, being an Aquarian, that's my sun sign, but Libra rising, understanding the Venusian energy and how to kind of maximize that to then be productive in my work. So I think one of the things I've always struggled, I've always been one for running myself ragged and just keep going. And then I suddenly realized, actually, I'm not having any fun anymore. And what you've really helped me with is recognizing the signs when I start to not have fun and how to then kind of take that time out and give myself a play date, whether that's 10 minutes sitting in the garden soaking up the sun or having a coffee or just a walk out in nature, to then help kind of re-energize myself and kind of boost my productivity in my business.
Do you feel kind of more connected to yourself now than before?
I do, yes. Yeah, I feel, and just kind of being able to manage the cycles, having come from the corporate world where it's very masculine energy, and the beginning of the financial month and the talking about profit and loss and everything else. Actually, what I've been able to do is just kind of just tap in more into my energy and what feels right for me. So with the kind of the astrology and the moon phases, understanding actually what's achievable for me that week, that day. And I used what you said about the ideas, like being able to just recognize that, I do have all these ideas, but write them down and put them in a book. That's been really helpful, rather than kind of like having that, like, I guess it's the butterfly effect, where it's like, oh, this looks really pretty over here, I'll go and play with this, and, oh, actually I like this, so and then not really achieving anything. So it's really helped me to recognize that I have that in me, but put some ways in place to manage it more effectively.
Beautiful.
So
that's so important. I think I feel like we can scatter ourselves, and you're I think what I've seen in you is you're more intentional with your energy and like giving yourself that space. Would you say you're kinder to yourself? You're more compassionate now than you were?
I am. I think yes, I still have like my days where I'm kind of beat myself up, but I think what I'm good at doing now is recognizing when I'm falling into that kind of that pattern, and using affirmations to bring myself out of that again and raising like my vibration levels. So I think I'm just more aware of kind of the language as well, the we should be doing and how we make ourselves feel by using that language, rather than actually this is what I will do today, and not feeling bad at the end of the day actually if something else comes into that.
I feel like you've really noticed how to lean into that kind of feminine part of you and be okay with not doing things at a million miles an hour. I remember like once it shifted, I remember like you got this client out of the blue and things like that, because you had kind of let go and surrendered the how. And do you feel like you approach your business, like your day-to-day business, in a totally different way now?
I do. I'm more kind of definitely, because I do think about I do think about the astrology and the impact that, and so and where the moon is in its cycle. So I'm starting to link that to how I work. So it's a new moon. It's all about creativity and birthing new ideas and all of that stuff. And then when the moon is waning, it's about just kind of tying up those loose ends. And actually, as I've been working with you, I guess, and the journaling and stuff, I can really identify the patterns and see, I know it works. I can see it works for me. Yeah. Which I think if someone had said that to me a few years ago, I would have been quite cynical about it all.
Yeah. Would you say has been one of the biggest sort of tangible shifts that you see in yourself, or like a few of them?
The shifts have been really kind of acknowledging the cycles and the way the universe works, and leaning into play, but also that kind of like the creativity and stuff. So the stuff that we've done around the intuitive drawing, like I quite often, I've always used color anyway to write, but now I do kind of, if I'm feeling a bit, I don't know, like the kind of the mark making, where you was like, to get rid of the energy, just do some mark making. And I guess techniques like that I use to help with my creativity when I want to think about ideas and things now, just to release kind of what's going on and start to kind of think about things in the picture. I think it's just a different perspective in how to work. And I think what you said about being more intentional about what I do, like previously I was just a scattergun approach, in like, I'll just try all these different things and see, hope it's like throwing the mud at the wall and just hope something sticks. Actually now I'm a bit more like, okay, these are the things that work for me and my energy and make me feel good, so this is what I will do. So I'm not burning myself out anymore. I'm not beating myself up because I haven't done something. I actually it's trust that everything is going to be okay, that synchronicity is there and we can't see what tomorrow is going to bring. So just in the moment, be in the moment.
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah, it's so important, that trust. And I think you have experienced many like opportunities came out the blue, and I think that I think there's a piece of you really trusting your intuition more, and how things come to you.
It was to do with like the earth energy and the air energy, having the Taurus moon, and that kind of like push pull, the inner conflict that I feel. And actually I think recognizing that I'm not as like, I kind of get it now, so I can kind of manage it in a better way, whereas before I probably didn't really understand it. And I think also just, I always liken myself to like the tortoise in the hare. The tortoise. You can look around, everyone else looks like they've got it all in the bag, and everyone's doing and I always feel like I'm like 10 steps behind everyone else, but it's it's your own pathway and your own journey, and that doesn't matter. I'll do things in my time.
Anything that's opened up for you as part of this journey?
I think what it's done is made me feel more confident about talking about these things. So because I'm more open about kind of astrology and the moon cycles and how I work, actually what it does is it's the connection that I'm making with people. So I'm making more genuine, authentic connections with people that have similar interests to me. It's like this, like the universe is saying, as it's saying,
almost like, I remember we had quite a few, well, obviously blood, sweat and tears and all these journeys we go on. But so many times I was like, letting go of the how, as long as you're showing up. And this is a reminder to me, as long as we're showing up in that kind of inspired space, then as long as we're being visible or taking those inspired actions, we have to surrender the how, which can be really hard.
It's really tough. That's probably the most difficult part of the journey.